Where's my mics? Okay.
Nice work.
Hi, guys. Yeah, thank you. Probably a lot of you don't know very much about NIM, right? Yeah. I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about it. NIM is a blockchain that's written 100% from scratch. And a long time ago, in 2014, the developers of NIM were looking at blockchain and other products, and they thought, what would we do if we were going to make the ideal blockchain? And in 2014, they started coding, and they decided that what they wanted to do to make NIM different is make it very secure and very scalable, and have a lot of good features in it. So that's what they set out to do, and then NIM was launched in 2015, and we've been going ever since then. So let me tell you a little bit about some of these smart features that are built in, and the thing that sets NIM apart from other blockchains is that we have great APIs. NIM is a blockchain built by developers for developers. And these APIs allow people to build very easily. Now, traditionally, we've had very bad marketing, but we have a great technology. And now I'm starting to market better and spread the information about NIM, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming today to listen to this. Okay, if I can get that, yep, okay. Here is some of the contracts that we offer. We offer editable multi-signature contracts. We offer namespaces and domains. We offer apostille is updatable certificates of ownership and certificates of property that are transferable. We offer voting. We offer customizable assets. I'm going to talk a little bit more about these. Let me talk about namespaces and domains really quickly. NIM believes that for an economy to take place, we need trust. And one of the things that's given trust to the internet is the internet domain naming system. If you can imagine going to www.cheapwatches.com and you buy a Rolex, and they say it's real, but do you know that it's real? How do you know? Yeah, I don't know. But if you go to www.rolex.com and you buy a Rolex and you pay full price, do you get a real Rolex or not? We believe that we are getting a real Rolex, and that's the power of the internet domain naming system, that sellers and businesses and enterprises can make a name and people can trust that name. We have that on the NIM blockchain built in. And you can use your name to brand your assets, your certificates, your votes, your logic for your multi-signature contracts. Let me talk a little bit more about these. NIM is the dawn of smart, programmable money. And this is the promise of the blockchain, that we can have smart, programmable money. But NIM makes it very easy because we use these APIs. And one of the contracts that we have is multi-signature. And these are very editable and very easy to work with contracts. So a business account, for instance, could be an ICO account. And we have Alice and Bob and Chuck, and they want to control this account, right? So they become owners of this account. And you can do any combination that you want to on NIM, and it works across any of the wallets because it uses APIs. You're not locked into one system. An Android developer using Java for one company, his multi-sig contract works with a desktop developer using JavaScript, even though that they've never met, because they connect through this common NIM protocol to make these contracts work. And they're very editable. Organizations change over time. Business leaders come in, business leaders go, and these contracts need to be edited. And in NIM, it's literally just a few clicks or 1 or 2 lines of code with our SDK. Right? And so easily Chuck can be removed and Davey can be added. On NIM, we have smart programmable money, as I mentioned before. And Obviously, we have transferable assets. This is what we always know. This is on Bitcoin. Bill sends Bitcoin to Bob, Bob sends Bitcoin to Alice, and so on and so on. It's completely transferable, right? But in NIM, we offer assets that are also non-transferable. They can be programmed so that they cannot be sent to anybody, again, just with 1 or 2 clicks. If Alice makes a coin and she sends it to Bob, Bob cannot send it to Bill or Chuck or David. He can only return it to Alice. This is really good for refundable coupons, like for a coffee shop. I own Jeff's Coffee Shop, and I want to give my customers a points card, and I don't want them trading it on the internet. So I have an option for tradable or non-tradable assets. And in NIM, you can also choose levies or fees on your assets. You can choose a flat fixed fee in any asset for any amount, or you can choose a percentage for any asset or any amount. And in NIM, because we have this levy feature, you can also make assets that can be locked into an account. It's programmed so that when Alice sends it to Bob or Alice sends it to David, he cannot send it to anybody. He cannot remove it from his account. It is locked in there forever. This is very good for citizenship. If a country is giving or a bank is giving KYC, right? If they are giving certificates to accounts to register them, they don't want these accounts selling their registration and their participation. Now, we also offer supplies that can be mutable. You can make your supply go up or make your supply go down. Again, edit the contract very easy with a few clicks. You can pick fixed supply. There's a lot of different ways to customize these. I have a booth in the back. If anybody would like to see me do live demos, I'll be more than happy to demonstrate any of the things that I'm showing in my PPT today. This is not something that's going to happen a long time ago. This is actually 2-year-old technology. We offer apostille. This is certificates of authenticity, certificates of ownership, certificates of update. These certificates show that a product, again, it can be branded underneath a name, was made, and that it came from an authentic manufacturer. And when that product is transferred from person to person, these digital certificates on the blockchain can also be transferred from person to person. A lot of people ask me, can these be faked? They cannot be faked. Just like a Bitcoin cannot be faked. Bitcoin solved the problem of the double spend, right? Or I like to say double send. If I have a digital picture or I have a digital certificate, I can make a copy and I can send it to you, I can send it to you, I can send it to you. But now for the first time on the blockchain, I can have a digital certificate serialized, personalized, updatable. It has memos, it can be branded, and these certificates can be transferred from person to person to person, and they cannot be faked because it uses the same technology behind Bitcoin, the block concept, decentralization, cryptography, to show that they cannot be faked or altered. We offer voting on the NIM blockchain. And we have a lot of cool voting options: private voting, public voting, voting by proof of importance. NIM uses proof of importance, not proof of work. And this is really important because proof of importance cannot be Sybil attacked. If somebody wants to attack this voting system, they would literally have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars and plan ahead weeks or months to make sure that they had enough power on the NIM blockchain, enough importance on the NIM blockchain to try to attack a vote. It's not going to happen. And all of this is done with APIs, as I mentioned before. This is the power of the NIM blockchain. A month ago, I did a developer conference, and I had a developer come in. He'd never worked on Bitcoin or Ethereum or NIM or any blockchain. He just heard that blockchain was cool, and he wanted to learn about it. And he came to my developer conference. He was a good developer. And at the end of the conference, it took 4 hours to teach developers how to work on NIM. I gave him some API documentations and a list of open source apps. And I gave a bounty. Who can link a Twitter account to a NIM blockchain account cryptographically so that they're one and the same? He stayed up all night long, read the API documentation, And then the next morning when I woke up, had a delivered app working, linking accounts, Twitter accounts, and the NIM blockchain. And I'm going to show a lot of other examples in just a minute, and all of these are basically built by single developers working part-time on weekends and nights and evenings that show the power of the NIM smart contract system and the APIs. This is an example of an existing system, and it's really easy for people, existing businesses, to incorporate because they can just immediately connect their current system into our current API system. And we're having a lot of enterprise systems and even governments show the NIM protocol interest. And we're working on these deals. We're going to have some really exciting news. We've already had some. We're going to have a lot more coming. Anybody can say that, but just watch. This is my favorite part of the speech. If you can watch anything or listen to anything, please listen to this. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen for any blockchain. It's unlike anything before. This is called an aggregate transaction. And it looks like it's one transaction. Oh, come on. That's painful. Okay, well, we'll forget the animations. This is 3 transactions in one transaction. They're all underneath one block. Block 16722, this is the hash. This is not something that we want to do someday or we hope to do something. I made this transaction myself. This is on my computer. 3 transactions. We have transaction number 1, transaction number 2, transaction number 3. Now, the amazing thing is that we have an initiator, the same initiator, but usually in blockchains, blockchains are a push system. I push my Bitcoins from me to you. I initiate a transaction from my account to your account. And that's what this transaction is right here. But this transaction is a pool transaction. Nobody's ever done this before. I am pooling cryptocurrency from your account to my account. This is how the traditional financial system works, on pool, not push transactions. And this one up here, this is even more amazing because this is a third-party initiated transaction for the sender and the receiver. This is me initiating a transaction for Alice to Bob. I am not sending the money, I am not receiving the money. And in this transaction, I have half-price coupons. I have Korean wons. I have orange juice coupons. This is 3 different cryptocurrencies swapped atomically, instantly, between 3 different accounts in one block. And we can start to do some really amazing things. There's also 3 different messages in here. In NIM, we offer 3 different kinds of messaging. We can do plain text, we can do encrypted, or we can do hexadecimal. Let me give you an example, one of the examples that I'm really excited about with this type of transaction. And it solves a big problem that we always have in cryptocurrency. If I want to make Jeff coin, and I send Jeff coin to my friend in Jeff Wallet, and my friend says, what can I do with this? And I say, you can go to Jeff Shop, but first, go to Coinbase. Register your ID, register your credit card, wait 3 days, get Bitcoin, transfer that to your favorite exchange that for Zim, then transfer the Zim to Jeff Wallet, and now you can spend Jeff Coin, right? It's a big problem. We've all been through that. That's not a problem anymore. Because with multi-party, multi-asset, multi-message, atomic swaps created on the fly instantly, this becomes no problem. Now, with Jeff Coin, me as the creator of Jeff Coin and the creator of Jeff Wallet, when anybody uses my wallet, what I can do is, let's say they have $10 of Jeff Coin, and they want to send $5 to their friend. They say, hey, friend, download this wallet. And they download the wallet. And he says, I'm going to send you $5 of Jeff Coin. And the friend says, okay, great. What happens is, I, as the creator of Jeff Coin, in the wallet, they send me 2 cents worth of Jeff Coin. I send them 1 cent worth of Zim. And then they send their friend $5 worth of Jeff coin. And these 3 transactions, me sending him Zim, him sending me 2 cents worth of Jeff coin, and then him sending his buddy $5 of Jeff coin, all gets put into one transaction initiated at the same time. I, as the creator of Jeff coin, just made 1 cent profit off of this transaction. And it can go from person to person to person to person. And they don't need to know what Bitcoin is. They don't even need to know what Ethereum is or Zim is. They don't even need to know that they're using a blockchain. What they have is just money in their wallet that's frictionless coming in and frictionless coming out. This is just one of 3 amazing things in Catapult, our next version of NIM, that I'm really excited about. And the other 2 are just as revolutionary and have solved problems that other people haven't even begun to address yet or think about. The new version of NIM called Catapult is unlike anything we've ever had before. Let me give you some examples of some projects built on NIM. Video games. We all think that there's an obvious place for video games and blockchains. One developer by himself, his name's Greg, working in weekends and night times, completely integrated PackNIM into the NIM blockchain. You can start to play the game with a NIM token called the PackNIM asset. Or if you don't want that, you can watch commercials and you'll get a free asset. And if you play the video game very good, you get more assets and you can trade these with your friends and then they can play it for free. Or if you do really good and you're the best player of the day, you can get a vanity asset that shows you're the best player of the day. And that can be transferable or non-transferable. It depends on how the video game maker wants to make it. Here's another example of a project. All these are real projects. They're open source. You can download them, try them out today, fork them, do whatever you want to with them. This guy made MP3s. He built his own MP3 music store. He built his own payment gateway with the NIM protocol. You can now download his MP3s and pay on his website with Zim. This is called IONIM. This is a complete and working integration of the IoT and the NIM blockchain. You make a certificate with the technology I talked about before called Apostle. You get a certificate. That certificate is the owner of a device. Whoever owns that certificate in their blockchain account now has the rights to turn that item on and off. Let's say a light bulb. If I own the certificate, I can turn the light bulb on and off, and only me. Now, we don't really need certificates to turn light bulbs on and off, right? But the promise of this is that someday the IoT will grow, and we will find really good combinations for the blockchain and the IoT. And these certificates are transferable. Right? If someone's renting my house, I can give them the certificate, and now they have the rights to turn the light bulbs on and off, and I don't. Or the door locks, or the windows, or whatever you want. Here's another one called NIM Pei. I talked earlier about you can create your own smart programmable money. This is an open source app for iOS and Android. Anybody could fork it. And literally within minutes, create your own currency, and within a few more minutes of forking this app, have your own app. This one is called Zim Sign. There's a problem with the PPT, but this is a smart signing contract. This is a smart signing contract that can be distributed across different nodes, and it can have filters built into it to sign a transaction or not sign a transaction with a multi-sig contract. And you can set it for filters or secret passwords or limits or a white list of accounts or a black list of accounts. It's a smart signing distributed contract. You can put it on 4 different nodes, and node number 1 checks, node number 2 checks, node number 3 checks. All the transactions are signed and it goes through. Here's another project called LuxTag. Full disclosure, I work at this company. We make luxury certificates for luxury items, blockchain certificates that can be transferred from person to person. For instance, a luxury watch certificate. When you buy the watch, you get the certificate on the blockchain. And when you transfer the watch or sell the watch, you can transfer the certificate, but you can also update and you can add memos to the certificate. So it's not just a certificate of ownership, it's a certificate of updates. If the watch has been oiled or repaired, updates can go onto that certificate of ownership. And what happens is you get a digital legacy that shows the whole history of the item, who owned it, what they did, where they lived. It all can be recorded and transferred generation after generation after generation because the blockchain never gets turned off. Even if the LuxTag company goes out of business, this is an open source protocol. The blockchain lives on. The certificates live on. Here's another example of a project. They're working with NIM today to help sponsor our booth. This is Comesaw. They have early access to the Catapult technology that I mentioned before, and they're using it to build a revolutionary new kind of exchange system. And the owner of the company of Comesaw Tech Bureau has been licensed in Japan. It's one of the 11 registered and licensed companies in Japan to build a cryptocurrency exchange. And they're going to offer really good one-stop shop ICOs. And people know that they're going to get a really good product. It's incorporated with Bitcoin, NIM, Ethereum, because it's utilizing some of this really advanced technology that I mentioned before, and some of it that I haven't mentioned. So that's a little bit about NIM, and a little bit of an introduction. But I want to say really quickly that I'm very excited about blockchain. A long time ago, I was working on Wikipedia. And when I first started working on Wikipedia, everybody thought I was crazy. This is when it first came out. And I was making articles on Wikipedia. And I would show my Wikipedia articles to my friends and people, and they would say, this cannot work. Wikipedia cannot work. Anybody can edit it. Anybody can say anything. And I said, no, it's going to be awesome. Right now, it's not production ready. These articles all suck. I wrote them myself, but it will be awesome someday. Admittedly, a lot of my articles have since been deleted because they were that bad. But some of my articles that I started and originated live on today, and they have become very, very, very good articles. And at the time when Wikipedia came out, people told me that encyclopedias were the single source of truth, that you could trust an encyclopedia. But Wikipedia has proved that we can decentralize knowledge and crowdsource people from all over to make this incredible source of information. And I believe that is the same thing as the blockchain today. A lot of people in this crowd, when you talk about blockchain, people maybe laugh at you, or they say it's never going to work, but I believe it's going to. And when I see NIM, and I see how easy it is for people to build all kinds of apps on the protocol and make this and that, these are things that the world needs. And I believe probably almost anybody here listening today, listening to this speech, has something to contribute to this blockchain movement. Something that we can do to make the world a much better place. Just like a long time ago, anybody could have contributed to a Wikipedia article. So thank you all for listening, and I'll be at my booth. If you have any questions, please come by. Yeah.